Good afternoon, Judy Allen here, literally sliding in the afternoon, right? So today we're mixing bundles again. We're using the truck along and the excellent eggs dies. Okay, that's our stamp set and dies, right? And the other is a stamp set and a punch. So with that, I've already got the truck made so you can see what the treat box is going to look like. And I'm going to show you how we're going to make a matching card to go with it. All right, so keep in mind this is tomorrow, the 29th is the last day for you to be able to get the free Easter egg kit, or the Easter kit. It was from February 16th through the 29th. So it's all it is that you place an order of $35 or more and you get the kit. And then the thing is if you do $50, you get something free from Sale-A-Bration, which also ends tomorrow. All right, so with that, let's go down the hands and let's do this, because it's all about Easter, all about having fun, right? So here is a little truck treat box with our rear view mirrors, right? All right, so I already have a special peep in mind. I've got rabbits on both sides. I've got my tail lights. I've got my bumper. And it's a special delivery. So this is part of it. And then we're also going to make the card. So one thing I want to show you that I did. Now let's see if you can see it. I actually whitewashed this. And I'm going to show you the technique about whitewashing. I don't know if I can see that too much. Here's where I did it on a piece of gray. And this is actually whitewashing technique. So to do the whitewashing technique, I actually was using it right. So if it's white, you're using white, right? Let's see if I need to move this just a little bit. I sort of used this the other day. I was supposed to use it the other day and left it behind. Let me get you centered more like that. Yeah, oops. Let's see if I can see it better that way without creating havoc for everybody. Really, I should be if I could create havoc myself, right? Okay, so let me just show you here. I put this down because this is a glass mat, and in case I get messy, right, I just want to show you. So all whitewashing is I just take this is white. It's really more like an ink, not an ink, a paint, than it is the ink that we get in our regular stamping pads. So you'll see how much thicker it is. So it really, in a lot of ways, acts like paint. So to do the whitewash, all we're doing is we're going to take it and we're going to add water. And the water will squeeze through because it did earlier. I just have what you put water in here. I just do this. And then you're just going to take it and dilute it, right? So to me, this reminds me of old school, how people used to whitewash their fences. Just give it that white. And that's all we're doing. It's wet, right? So the thing is, we're just going to stroke it across like once, right? You might want to thin it out a little bit like that, or you could add a little bit more paint if you don't. And I just spread it out, and I just set it aside and let it dry. Now, we'll see what it looks like when it dries. When I did the first one, it did like that. But you got to let it dry, because if you get it too wet, then it's going to sit there, and the paper is going to start rolling off, okay? So I'm going to set that aside while that dries, and we can move on to making what we're going to make. So, if you saw a few weeks ago, I did one of these for Easter. Not Easter, Valentine's. Too many things going on, right? Let me empty out my stuff here. So, I've got some Easter eggs. I've already just splattered. I splattered that with a light orange color. Let me see what color that is called. Officially called. It is called Calypso Coral. So, I actually took and splashed that with Calypso Coral, and I just die cut some eggs, and I just splattered them with the blending pens with different colors. I went ahead and added a little bit of yellow because they all look sort of plain, which they were, right? I'm going to set these aside because I don't think we'll be using those. I think I have plenty as it is already. And I've also die cut some other ones in advance to add to our combination of stuff here. All right. So just give you an idea where we're going. And I've got other Easter eggs that are solid and cut out as well too. And then I have some leftover pieces. Alright, so first we're going to sit up here and we're going to build the truck, the outer part of the truck. And I thought that would be really cute. Let me just empty out all my other pieces here for us. Okay? Just so you know where we're going. Nope, I got one of my silver pieces there. So, same thing with another trick is we're going to use these, and I'll show you right here on this, right here that's made. See right here where I did this? So the punch only punches one way, all right? And what I mean by that is, because I would rather just go and show you some of the tips and tricks up front, is when I put this in here to die cut this out, it's not die cut, it's going to be punched. It's going to punch, right? And this is the direction it's going to be. So it doesn't matter what punch you use or anything else. That's what it's going to punch out. Well, I need, if I'm going to have rear view mirrors on my truck, I need one going the other way. So all you have to do is just flip the paper over, okay? And then when you go and punch it, you're going to see I'm going to have my mirror going the other way. And that's just how easy it is. You know, it's one of those things you may not think of. It's just a little trick. But see, now I have my two rear view mirrors, both in silver. All right, so we're going to build this. And again, let me take the candy out of this here so you can see where we're sort of headed. So it's not going to be quite like this. It's going to be a little bit different, but it's going to be very similar from the outside perspective. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as the front of my truck right here. Okay, you have to know where you're going to be going. So I'm going to let this be the front of my truck. So the thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little wheels here, and I'm going to take some liquid glue, and we're going to adhere them down. Okay, so basically we're building our truck at the moment. See if we can get this on here. So I'm just doing half the wheel, all right? So when you're doing 3D projects, even if it's a card, right, you're going to need adhesive. So get this come out. Adhesive, that's for base for 3D, right? So I'm just going to put this one here. Looks about halfway. And we're going to do this, and then we're going to do the ones on the back. All right? And the thing is, we're not going to worry about it because we'll be able to line it up based on what we did on the front. And that's why, I think I just had this upside down. But anyway, this is why you can flip it over right now. We can do a lot of things right now, and I haven't assembled it yet, right? Shake this a little bit. Might be getting low. Might do like somebody else did. They were weighing their blending pins to see how low they were. Because you'd know by weight, right? I think I might need to start weighing my liquid glue to see how empty it might be. Because when you just grab it, it doesn't feel like it's empty. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Let me use my little truck here for the treats. I'll just put my glue in here for the moment. How about that? Alright, then I don't have to worry about it. We might have to worry about my sleeves though, because I got these bell sleeves on my top. Okay, so see, I've got those lined up right now. So now I'm just going to flip it over. And this is going to be the back side of the truck right here. I thought I could do that, but I can't. Okay, but I can at least eyeball it, right? And they don't have to be perfect, right? Because the thing is, whoever you give this to, as far as I know, they're not going to get a measuring tape out and see the difference, you know. I'm trying to think if my husband would or not. He's an engineer, but nah, I don't think he would do it either because, right, if I went on my way to make him something and give it to him, he wants to make sure I give him something again, right? Alright, this is going to be wretchedly annoying for me. Let's see if I got some other up here. I can tolerate a lot of things, but you know what? When things are supposed to just work for you, I get to work, right? That's just the way I am. Okay, so let me do it on this side. So I actually did put some paper under here, and the reason is because this is a glass mat that they have right now through Sale-A-Bration, and I don't want to get glue, right, on my glass mat or ink. So I'm just sort of eyeballing it. They look the same, right? Because this is actually going to stand up, just like the truck for the treat is. It's going to stand up, and we're just making sure. So I'm just eyeballing it, right? I'm not like getting anything out to measure it. I'm just making sure they're about halfway. Okay? Alright, so we have the front and the back, and then now we're going to add some other stuff, alright? So this is actually going to go over the side. We just finished the first one, and I would say they look about the same. I guess if I was really that picky. So one thing I could do if I was really that picky is I could literally just put this right here and see where these wheels land, right? Because I got straight lines on here. So, I mean, if it's close enough for government work, right? Okay. Alright, they look all about the same. Okay, good. Alright, so this I already did. This is 2 pieces we put together. This is just using a labels die. And it's got 2 different levels. And this was actually, I actually set it there and embossed this. And I just whitewashed across it as well as the other. So we're just going to put this on, just like we did the treat holder. Well, that's the other thing, right? When you make stuff like this, you know everybody's going to want it because it's got treats, right? So I'm just putting this right across here. So see, it's going to cover the wheels. And this is going to open up like this. So I'm going to go ahead and put it this way. And then, okay, so I didn't have to have my glue quite as far up, but that's okay, right? Because it's not going to matter. We're going to close this in a minute. I just want to make sure what does matter is I just want to make sure that as I look at these wheels, see back here how the back is? So you just want to make sure this is lined up with this right here. And I've got some of this on each side. So it doesn't look like I quite got it centered. So you want to tug it. Oops. That is one of the things about using glue, is it allows you a little bit more flexibility on moving. But you do want to get this centered, right? Because the back is going to be centered too. So I'm just making sure I've aligned it up about center. And make sure I got this back over here right too. As long as it's still soft, right? As long as it's not really super hard yet, here you can still move it. Okay? Alright. So this one here is actually going to go on the inside of this. And we can go ahead and put that down right now if we want to. So I'm just going to put it right here. So lots of times this stuff is easier to do if we do it like right now, right? And got it open. And that way you can actually see what's happening. I mean, I did when I did the other truck one for the treat, I did a little bit differently, but that's okay. Alright, so this is going to be the back of the truck. And again, we're just going to line this up. We've already got scored lines, so we can build this. Okay, so then that part is ready. Okay, now the next part here, just trying to see if I can see how much I got dry there. I'll put this right here, hold it up a second. Okay, so this here is, we're going to put this right here on here. Now, we're going to cover it just like that, but in between, we're going to actually put our little rear view mirrors. Okay, and we're going to put them on with adhesive. And let's see, make sure I can always clean that off. Okay, so we don't have to do the whole thing, right? I just need to put a little glue here. And a little glue here. Alright, we'll just hold it in place because when we go put this other panel back on, it's going to cover it up. Alright, so it just depends how far out you want your little rear view mirrors to stand out. But you got to keep in mind, we got to have it tucked in enough that it's secure, right? So it just doesn't fall off. And we're going to do the same thing here. And I'm not worried about if I get my fingerprints all over it, right? I can always go clean that off later. Because I even have an eraser that'll get the adhesive off too. But I think just water will get that off. If that's really picky to me. Alright, if it's real picky to you, you can just cover it up again. Okay? So I've got this right here and I got my rear view mirrors here. Now is where I want to put on my back of this here. So again, this is just going to cover this up, right? And you'll be able to put an Easter egg on this side if you want to. You can do anything you want on this side, okay? Because it's going to be the front of the truck. I'm not worried about building it right now. I'm just worried on building the card and the inside of the card, right? So again, I'm just going to line it up down here at the bottom. And it's going to cover the top part of the wheels. So if for some reason you didn't do your wheels exactly right or something, it's okay. It's going to be covered, all right? And then these two will just line up because they're both cut from the same die. Now keep in mind, when I cut this out, you can cut out 2 pieces of cardstock simultaneously, okay? So there's my whitewash, you can see there. Alright, so now I'm going to take this piece right here and we're just going to glue it together, okay? And then from there we're going to start working on making our explosion card. Somebody calls it an explosion card, which, you know, I guess it sort of is. There's another term that I used before. I don't remember what it was offhand. But, so just got this right here. Hold it there just a second. So I'm going to see if I have any paper clips here. Paper clips are my friends on stuff like this. And I can just paper clip it here. Okay, in fact that paper clip is like right there. Alright, so here we go. So here is our truck coming along. Alright, so from here we're going to start putting these on, and we want to get our eggs on here. So we have choices, right? So let me go ahead and just lift it down like this so we can start looking at our choices for our eggs. So I'm going to write, we always want to put our lower eggs in the front. So when we do this one here, right, I did, let me put it down a bit for you. Okay, so you can see how when I did this one, I set it there and I got one of the die cut eggs out that had the die cut and you could see through it because I wanted to be able to see the candy, right? So when I go to do this one here, I definitely wanted to put one of the bigger eggs in the back. So here's 2 different egg sizes that I have that I can put in the back. All right, so I planned on putting one here and one here. Okay, now I didn't put these up on the clear window sheets like I have done before because didn't even think about it really. I wasn't planning on it. So, but it's okay. I'm just going to use adhesive. This will work just fine. The window sheets work good too, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and put this here. And I'm just sort of laying it out. Oops, I got it backwards. That's okay. Alright, because we're going to put that other egg on top of it anyway. So I'm just sort of laying it out like this. And I'm going to lay it out like this here. Okay. Now, actually, I want to put a dimensional there because I just want a little separation between the two. Okay, note to self. I do not need to... This is like bell sleeves. They start coming on everything. I'm most probably be in trouble because I'll be like getting into everything. Alright, so I'm just getting a dimensional here. And I didn't want necessarily a height at the bottom, but I wanted height at the top. Okay? So you can easily do that with dimensional. You don't even have to set that down if you don't want to. Alright? But I'm just trying to get at how I'm going to sit there and get our eggs in here. So again, I'm just going to put a little liquid glue here. So we do the explosion cards or the pop-up cards. That's the term I was thinking of, was pop-up. Right? So we don't have to usually have it. We can do it like I've done before with the window sheets. That's a good way to do it. This case here, I'm not doing that. I'm just gluing and going to use some paper clips just like I did a minute ago. I'm just going to clip this on here. So it's just different ways to show you just how to do different things, right? You could, by all means, use the window sheets like I did before. Or we could do like I'm doing right now and use paper clips to hold the glue in place as it dries. So let's see if I can get this here. You know, it's one of those things when you do these things in person, it's like it seems like it goes a lot easier than when you live. Don't ask me why, but that's just the way it is. Alright, so I'll leave that at the moment because it looks like that's already sticking. Okay, now let's get ready for our next set of eggs, right? Because we still have some Easter bunnies put on here, some tail lights, special delivery, and we definitely got to get Happy Easter on here because this is our card. This one I didn't because it's going to have the treats and the card's going to be with it, right? So let me just ruffle up my sleeves here a second, and let's get some more eggs in here, right? So we can take these eggs as high or as low as we want to, right? It's just a matter we can even cut the eggs. If you wanted to, you could do the egg upside down like this, right? So we have choices, right? It's all about choices. Let me get some other colors in here, and we're going to see what we can do here. So I really don't want this to get too high, right? Because I have other stuff I want to put in here, okay? So I'm going to do this one, and then we'll most probably do one more, okay? Because I want to do a total of 5 eggs, which will be perfect. So I'm going to end up trimming that off, but let's first at least get it glued on to the height we want it. And so it just depends where you want that egg to be. I want my egg to show, so I'm going to want this to be on the back side, right? So we're just going to put some adhesive right here. And yeah, we're going to have to trim off that egg too, right? And that's okay. So I'm going to put this one right in the center, like this here. And so this is how it's going to look. Let's see if I can get that for you. See, that's how it's going to look. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and trim this off. And I'm just going to trim it right here. Nobody's going to see it, right? They could look at it if they want to from the bottom just to see what you did and all, but we're not worried about that, okay? All right, we're going to put some glue on this end here. And here. And then we're just going to come in here and tuck this right in here. And this one right here. I'm going to go ahead and clip this one down. I don't mind holding one side, but I don't want to have to hold both. Okay? And you know, you could use tear and tape. Tear and tape is just as good. All right, you just want anything that's 3D adhesive. Okay, let me get this guy over here. Okay, so yeah. Be easier if I might have skinnier. Let's see right here. So I have a tinier one. It looks like everything I've got up here is big jumbo clips. All right, it's okay. It is okay. We're not gonna sweat the small stuff. All right, so you can see how our eggs are shaping up. Now, if you want it a little bit higher, I've already done that, so it's gonna be a little bit tough, right? But what we can do now is we can start seeing about adding some other eggs, right? I might would want that up a little bit higher as I'm looking at that. But again, I cut it off the bottom, right? So I can still tug it maybe a little. I'm not sure that did a whole lot for me there. Okay, that's okay. All right, we can just tuck some eggs back here. So I'm trying to see if I can make sure that you can see what we're doing as we add this. Let's see here. I'm not sure. I'm getting flash notices. I don't know what it says that's going on. But anyway, I'm not sure. I'm getting notices saying I'm doing something. Well, I know I'm doing something, but I guess they're saying it's something I'm not supposed to be doing. I don't know. All right, so I'm just going to take this one here. I'm going to add it on back here with a dimensional. All right? I'm not used to a camera flashing at me saying I'm doing something wrong. All right, I'm just going to use this here. And again, we're just going to tuck this in here, right? Yeah. So I'll just put those together with the dimensional. And it gives the separation, right? Okay, so now I got 3 eggs, and I want to at least put one more in here. All right? So on this one, I'm just going to put a dimensional, and I'm going to have it right on top of this other egg. Now, I could have that egg up a little bit more. Might have been a little bit nicer. And I might come back when I do a next one, do the same thing. Let's see here. Right? So it's just sort of like if you've done paper, floral designs, or anything like that, right? It's all about building. You're building what you're working on. And I'm just going to come back here and put it right here. Actually, it doesn't have to be like exactly slanting a certain way. Okay, so you can see how I've got my eggs going in here. So now that we're going to get this, we're going to go ahead and get our tag on front. And we're actually going to stamp and put down Happy Easter too, right? So we're going to put this on with dimensionals. I already stamped this event, special delivery, so this is going to match just like the card. And we're going to go up here. I don't know that I have another yellow one, so I'll try another pink one. And we're just going to put special delivery here. And what I did when I did the Easter egg and the Easter bunny, I just tucked them in there, all right? So I'm going to put this here. And then we're going to go ahead and get our circles for our car on here. Did I forget? No, I got those. Okay. Just make sure I had my... All right. And then we're going to get these on here. So yeah, I just saw when I had mine laid out, it looks like I put my rearview mirrors on backwards. And that's okay. We're not going to sweat it. I have some other ones I just punched out that I can go and cover that and make that right. So don't sweat the small stuff. There's always a way we can either fix it or opportunity for creativity. Now here we're just putting some Wink of Stella on here, right? Because brake lights, you got to be able to see them, right? All right, and we've already stamped our bumper here. And we just put it down with some glue. So then, if we're making it like the treat box, all we have left to do is to sit up there, and we got to get our Happy Easter on here, and we're going to get another. Okay, it's going to have to be yellow or blue, because this, who I'm making this for, is a little boy. And I'm not sure that he would appreciate his Nana putting him all in pink. I'm thinking, Nana's thinking. All right, Nana's going to tuck that there for the moment. Let's see what we can do for this little boy. All right, let's see what Nana can do for our little boy. Alright, Nana really likes these better. I'm just going to temporarily put this here because I'm going to have to do it in yellow or something else, or blue. Alright, I'll put it here, and we'll go ahead and just have it here with our Easter bunny, but Nana's going to go and change it. So, actually, because I've got the bunny here going this way, all you have to do is take it and flip it over. Okay? I'm just going to put it right here. I'm not going to adhere it down because this Nana's going to have to... I didn't think about that. I was just busy cutting eggs, right? Wasn't worried about color or anything else. Been making cards for kids in the hospital and all, and, you know, I know they'll get it to the right person, right? Okay, so I'm going to have to do that in blue for him. So he'll know that Nana especially did it for him. And I'm just going to take some of our bling here. This is from the Hot Air Balloon collections. And I'm just going to stick this on here. Oops. We're both sticky. Ah. Okay. And we'll put one more on there. And we'll have this done on the back side. Now we just have to stamp our Happy Easter. Right? We gotta get Happy Easter on here. Because this is a card. This one is not. Just put it down like this. Right? Because you always need to make sure anyway, because it's got to fit in an envelope. Alright? I can take the paper clips off. Alright, so you can see as I flip this over, see my silvers right there, which I was really wanting on this side, so I'll have to go back and correct that, but I can do that. It's just adding it. Alright, so I want to get my Happy Easter on here. So we're going to stamp Happy Easter, and we're going to fussy cut it out, and that way we can put it up any way we want to put it up. And you know what? We even have some zigzags here that we could do something with if we wanted to. Alright, let me find another block for us, because the one I had, I just put ink all over it. And if all else fails, when I have tons of blocks and I see none. Okay, opportunities for creativity. So, this would not be the first time Nana has ran into this. I've gone somewhere before and I forgot my block at home. So what I'm looking for is something I can think is stiff enough to hold this, so I can stamp with it. Alright, I'm just going to pull this envelope that I had. And I'm looking for my white piece of paper here. So I have to be able to see through it, right? Because I'm going to stamp. So I need to be able to see what I'm going to do. So all I'm going to do, I have done this more than once. You know, because Paper Pumpkin gives you a block just for the first time you subscribe. So I actually brought my Paper Pumpkin somewhere and was going to create with it, and I had no stamp, no block. And I thought, well, I wasn't going to leave until I could stamp. So there you go. I just stamped it. Yes, all I ever do is just look for something that's firm, right? So with this, we want to be sure to get our Happy Easter up here, right? So I'm just going to cut around the letters a little bit, and we're going to get it stuck on there. I'm going to leave... No, okay. I'm going to leave a little bit down here, right? Because I need to have just a little bit to be able to adhere something to it, right? So instead of me like getting really tight around this, I'm just going to sort of do like this here. It gives me a little bit more space, right, to work with. If I want to trim it, I can. But because I need an extra little something on the bottom to be able to get that on there and hold it. Alright. But I do like the T in here. It looks like a cross, right? This one right here. For those of you that you want to make sure that you get a cross in your Easter. They did make it look like that on the T. Just FYI. Alright, we're going to see how this works, and if I have to trim it up, I can, right? I'd rather have too much and trim it than too little and get to start all over again. So I did it just like this right here, so it can be able to stick up on top of the truck. Alright, so you can see that I have plenty of space there, that if I just put some adhesive right down on the bottom, it's going to work. Okay. And then when it dries, I'll put some Wink of Stella on here, and I'll get a bow on here as well too. So I'm just going to use my paper clip at the moment, just to hold it here while it dries. Okay, so you can see how it looks, right? I got to get a blue one. It could be a green one, right? But this is for a special peep that it's for a little boy, and he might not fully appreciate all the pink. That's okay. He'll take some. I just don't know if he'll take it all. So, anyway, this is how it'll look, and then we just have to put a bow on here, right? And I did use a yellow. I used yellow to tie the bag right here. So I'm just going to use yellow on here, this as well, too. So it's all pastel colors, right? And so we're just going to make a bow, and we'll put it on here. We'll figure out where we want to put it, and we'll just put it on with some glue dots. And that's just, and I've worked toward keeping my ribbon on the roll, so that way I don't waste as much ribbon, right? And then also I have all the ribbon in the world I want until I decide what I really need. So that just makes it a win-win for me. Okay, so that's all I need, right? So I'm just going to take it, and I'm just going to snip it. And then we just have to figure out where we want to put it, right? Because it could go down here, but I was really wanting some up here by Happy Easter, okay? That's where I really wanted it, and that's good. That fell out because I don't have it glued down, right? And there's a reason. Because we know we have to do a blue one. Okay, I'm just going to trim this across there. Okay, and then I'm just going to put up here with a glue dots. And as I said that, let me see. I was going to say, is today a test? Today might be a test. I don't know about you guys, but here we have extreme wind conditions today. We got wind warnings, and we've also had some fires going in the panhandle of Texas. So be sure to keep those people in your prayers, because it's already burnt a lot of land, and they've had to take kids and evacuate schools and other areas, so it's just not a good thing. Alright, and now I can take the paper clip off. And I'm just going to stick it in here, right? I'm just going to put it right here. And there you go. So I've got my ribbon that I wanted, I have my eggs, and I have my truck. The only thing I don't have here is I don't have my eggs. This one's here. We have two more. So I actually put on the truck I did a while ago, I had Easter bunnies on both sides. So let's see here. Here's the other Easter bunny. So we're just going to flip it over, right? That's all we did. We punched it and flipped it over to get it the direction we want to go in. So we put one here. And then when it dries, we'll put Wing of Stella on it as well, too. And it just makes a cute pop-up card. Explosion card. I'll have to go back and put pop-up. Alright, so we have our bunnies going the same way, even though we didn't have our... There we go. It's just a special delivery truck to go with, and I'll tell you what would be cute in here too, is to get some Easter grass and stick some Easter grass in here. That would look really cute too. I'll have to see if I have some and show you what that looks like. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. Some of this has still got to dry. But there you are. There's our card, and here's our treat holder. And I've got plenty more eggs here to make more, right? So, here's what we got. We got our treat holder here, and then we have our card here that'll fold and open. Okay, so you got to make sure whenever you make this, you can make it taller if you want it. I just messed up my Easter bunny. But the thing is, you got to make sure it fits in the envelope because you're going to mail it, right? Or in this particular case, I might give mine since I got the candy to go with it. But otherwise, if you're going to mail it, you just want to make sure it'll fit in the envelope, all right? That's the main thing. So we are just missing this right here that I have to do in blue. And it'll go right here just like the other card, but just a different direction. And there you go. We have our Happy Easter. So I hope you enjoyed that, right? It's all about just making fun, creating for whether it's our friends or special peeps in our life, right? It's just about going out there, creating, sharing, and giving. And it's just, like I said, when I usually create, like today, I already have a special peep in mind, and there's other peeps that'll get some too, but theirs will be a little bit different, right? Based on people's favorite colors. So I could have just as easily used purples in here for people that love lavenders and purples, right? So, you know, it's all about creating, sharing, and giving, and keeping in mind who you're going to give it to, right? So they know that you create special for them. So go out there, be blessed, and be sure to follow us here on Facebook and also on YouTube where we'll post the videos, and on Instagram, because Facebook only keeps the videos there for 30 days. So if you want to come back at any given point in time, then you'll have to go out there and look it for YouTube, and we'd love for you to follow us. Be blessed. Look forward to seeing you next week when we do something else with Easter. All right? Have a good one. Bye.